Hey there, mystical souls. How are you this evening? Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this live astrology readings. If you are new here, my name is Patricia Tate. I am a traditional, evolutionary, and Western astrologer. I specialize in combining all of it together. I invite you to like and subscribe my channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Please share this live as it helps the algorithm. For those of you that are regulars here, thank you for from the bottom of my heart for this continued support. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you are looking for more of an in-depth reading, you can look for a personal consultation at willowgracemystik.com. That is a scheduled one-on-one session that's tailored just for you. There's a link in the comments section below. I also offer videos on all major transits so you can stay up to date on your current astrological happenings. For those of you who are interested in learning more and diving deeper, please check out my Patreon membership community for exclusive content, resources. I do offer a 1-week free trial membership. This is where I have 2 lives once a month, and I offer early access and usually daily updates. If you'd like to get in the queue tonight for tonight's reading, it is use the QR code, and it is a $40 PayPal donation. Be sure to include your birth date, time, and location, and we'll see what the planets have in store for you. Also, if you've not finished with your holiday shopping, you can check out my 12 days of mystical giving, and there's also a Patreon membership in there. A couple other things. I have already released my 2025 year ahead transits for all 12 signs. You'll need to sit down with a calendar with that. And I've also released my January for just the month of January 2025 monthly forecast. And this morning I released the Jupiter square Saturn transit that's actually in play now and is going to be coming exact on December 24th. So we have Mercury direct, we have Mars still retrograde in Leo, and it's moving towards Cancer, and all of this energy is like buckling up for the end of the 2024 and the beginning of 2025. All right, so let me see who is in the chat, see what we have going on. Hey, Kelly. Good evening. Greetings from Baltimore. Hopefully you got to see the full moon just a couple nights ago. I know I saw it in bits and pieces. There was a lot of rain, but the clouds did part for just a few moments, and I was able to get a glimpse of that. Hey, Bright Light Becca Boo. Hey, everyone. I'm so glad that you made it here. Yeah, it is crazy energy. Definitely crazy energy. High, low, I'm riding this roller coaster of emotions and feelings, and knowing certain things are these endings, and then anticipating and embracing what 2025 holds, knowing that stepping into a new chapter, not knowing exactly what does that chapter entail. So yeah. Hey Ellen, I am so glad that you are here from Colorado Springs. I do have your chart up, and I've definitely taken a look at it. Oh, Houston, bright light. I am going to be in Texas. Actually, we leave here 2 days after Christmas, and then we make the 3-day trip, and we will be in Texas for a while. So yeah, I'm excited to come your way. All right, so let's just dive in and look at what we have going on. All right, so Ellen, I'm gonna pull yours up first, and then I want to remind you a little bit about your chart. Hey Mopsy, so glad that you got here. No, it did not start at 6. People were requesting that I make it an hour later, so we are starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or depending on what time zone you're in. I know you're on my time zone, so yeah, literally just got started. All right, so Ellen, I want to remind you about this is huge in your chart. If you look at it, this is the nodal opposition with Jupiter conjunct your south node, wanting to expand things from your past. We always look to the past and say, not just the lessons that you have from your past, but what gifts and talents can I bring into my future? Because we learn from it, and we have blessings and gifts and opportunities that can come from it. So absolutely love that Jupiter is there. You also have Chiron in your womb conjunct your North Node in Aries, of the direction in which you're supposed to be going. I remind you of this because this is the square to your moon at 3 degrees in the sign of Cancer in your 12th house. Squares are these hard aspects. They call them a skip step or a misstep of what are you bringing in with you, South Node, and how are you overcoming it by this difficult. Squares are meant to push us past our comfort zone in order to say change. And when we have a misstep or a skip step, you thought of it as I'm willing to step up to the plate and change quickly, like just bring it on hard and fast. So this happens every time anything activates North Node, South Node, or your moon. That being said, let's talk about where things are right now for you. All right. There we go. Hopefully, yeah, everybody can see that. All right. Your North Node is almost exact. It's at 2 degrees, so it's like inching ever so closer. And I'm sure you're feeling it. Having a moon in Cancer, remember, is very feelings, knowing, psychic, dreams, intuition. It's bringing things from the ethereal realm and bringing them into perspective of how can I use them. The 12th, the moon is your intuition in the sign of Cancer, of nurturing, caring. But Cancer, remember, it's a cardinal sign that wants to initiate. It wants to move forward. It's very protective. And so this could be ancestors. This could be spirit guides. This could be you working from that space of all lessons will be learned hard and fast through, so usually people with like a moon in Cancer, your memories are based on, like they go way back, but they're rooted in, I don't want to say trauma, but very big events that you can remember those events, and they become these core memories. And so knowing that this right here, this square is going on. I know you asked me earlier, and then the newest email said, don't worry about it. Look, I'm going to clear this. Knowing that Pluto is going into your partnership sector in the sign of Aquarius, this is not going to be just a one-shot deal. This is going to be you experiencing these relationships, these alternative relationships, different relationships over the next 20 years of your life. Like, and okay, so I want to add that Mars is currently retrograde. Mars in your first house. So this relationship that you are currently in, Mars is going back over your identity, your self-expression, your appearance, your power, your ego, your self-interest, going back over an area of your life and saying, who am I? I want to experience this. Is this crazy? This is unusual. This is different. This is out of the ordinary. And Mars is saying, look, it's okay to go back and reevaluate some things in your life. Leo is very, it's about our pride. The first house is your personality, you being seen. It's your self-interest. And Mars is going to oppose Pluto again about what other people expect of you. And I'm going to add in what you traditionally have expected of yourself. And that Mars retrograde, it's going to dip back. It's going to be here until, I believe it's January 3rd or January 6th. So it's going to be here saying, let's go over some of these things. Like, let's look at my identity, like with a fine-tooth comb, my interests, my happiness, my health, my vitality. After January 6th, Mars is going to go into the sign of Cancer, into your 12th house, of eliminating those fears. It's like figuring out where did they come from. I don't think anything should be off the table for you. I wanna add the flavor of this being an overall reading for you, with, let me get rid of this, that you now have Mercury moving direct. Mercury is the way that you communicate, it's thoughts, ideas, feelings. It rules over your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals, and it rules over your money, your self-worth, cash, property, all of like anything that makes you feel secure. And so Mercury now moving forward is in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is shoot for the stars, and it's wherever you land. It's expansive. Having Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius here, the fifth house is about lovers. It's about creative projects. I'm so sorry. There was a stink bug that did a dive bomb that got in here. And I'm hoping it doesn't hit me. So, Mercury in your fifth house is, what do I want to create? What do I want to expand upon? And I need to be fearless. The fifth house is about taking a risk, giving birth to something, launching something. And so I want you to embrace all of those themes that come along with it. I want to add one more thing. You are also, I want you to look at the degrees on this one. You have Saturn, and this is a square, the one that will be exact on December 24th, but literally it's only 1 degree off. You have Saturn in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of sex and intimacy, and it's about diving deep into taboo topics. It's about wanting to uncover and wanting to heal. It's also the house where we are invested with others through alimony, child support, debt, taxes. All of those topics are relevant with Saturn in Pisces. Saturn has these boundaries and wants to build something that will last over a longer period of time. Jupiter, so this is the great malefic, and this is the great benefic. Jupiter wants to expand everything that it touches. And so Jupiter in your 11th house, if these are my goals, my hopes, my wishes, my dreams, like these are things that I want to experience, it is retrograde. It's going backwards. You going within. Whenever a planet is stationed in retrograde, I don't look at them as all good or all bad. I look at the planetary movements as opportunities to learn, change, grow, and evolve. And so this square is building with, what do I want? Who do I want it with? Who aligns with what I want? Jupiter in the 11th house expands your connections with people. It expands projects. It expands things that you want to do. The 11th house brings up organizations or your social circle. It brings up topics of the collective activities or the community in which you volunteer in. And so knowing all of this, it's people that you're connecting with, and it's a lot. And so it's coming in square with, what can I maintain? And the square will become exact on December 24th, and then it's going to start to wane. Knowing that you can feel it, and it creates these tense moments, these tense times for you in order to grow and change and evolve. Remember, squares are these 90-degree angles that say, this is where you're comfortable, and if you're comfortable, no growth comes without change. So let me make you a little uncomfortable. Let me show you some shadow sides of some things. And this could be you diving into topics that you normally would never discuss openly with people. And who do you share them with? And what do I want to experience? The 8th house is the house of it's the house of the psychological. It's the house of personal sacrifice. It's how do we heal? How do we transform? It's birth, death, and rebirth. It's the house of sexuality. And so all of this is saying, come into who you are. With Mars stationing retrograde in your first house, and then it'll dip back into your 12th house. This is a time where you're having this nodal return and saying, I have some time under my belt. I have some years, and now I'm on my next third. And what does that next third look like? Because it's not about pleasing anybody but you, and making sure that everything that you're doing moving forward is for your soul to center and move forward with. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense. Let me look in the comment section here. Hey, Queen Leo. clear in Jersey. Oh, the moon was next to Jupiter yesterday. I got to see bits and pieces of it. Yeah, I got to see. All right. Let's see. Oh, they stole the moon. Okay. All right. I'm hoping all of this makes sense. So, Ellen, I'm hoping that brings clarity. Knowing, just one more hot second with this. This is at 2 degrees, and yours is at 0. Your Chiron is at 2, and these are all at 0. Knowing that over the next 5 months, it will be becoming more exact. When I had my last nodal return, I felt everything, and it was like doors were opening and doors were shutting, and when they shut and they locked. Like there were doors that I wanted to keep open, and it was not an option. It was the universe saying, put it behind you. It's like I was walking down a hallway and all the doors were shut and locked, and I couldn't get into any of them, and I had to embrace moving towards unknown. And what did the unknown look like, and how do I dive into it without fear and embrace it? All right, I'm hoping all of this makes sense. All right, great. And all right. Hey, bright lights, Beckaboo, loving all your emojis. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. I greatly appreciate everybody being here this evening. Let me pull up the next chart. If anybody is interested in getting into the queue, definitely use that QR code. Sorry, let me pull this open. All right. All right, so Cheryl, thanks for being here. I'm sure that you are probably very happy that Mercury is now stationed direct, because you have this huge stellium in the sign of Gemini. Remember that Mercury rules over your 12th house, and Mercury rules over the way that you communicate, your 3rd house. So not only does it rule over your connection to the ethereal realm, or to divine, God, Goddess, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha, whatever higher power you believe in. But Mercury also rules over your 3rd house of communication with neighbors, siblings, cousins. And so whenever Mercury is stationed retrograde, you feel it not only in these areas, but in the sign that it's in. And so you are, your ruling planet, your rising sign is Cancer. So not only were we in Mercury retrograde, but we also had this full moon. So this was definitely you all up in your feels. Let me pull up a bi-wheel so we can talk about where we are now. I know you had some questions about some things that are going to be coming up. So let's talk about this. All right, we just talked about it briefly with Mercury in your 6th house of your day-to-day habits. Remembering to slow down, to pause, to breathe, to do all of these things, because Mercury in your 6th house says, I need to be organized. I need to be structured. I need to make sure that before I take care of anybody else, I need to make sure that I'm organized and I can take care of myself. Having Mercury in your 6th house is highlighting that and speaking it to others about self-care and the importance of. It's also the opportunity to focus on your finding a mentor, finding a guide, making sure that you're speaking to somebody about staying organized and how can I do this. The 6th house is literally the house of self-care and how do I nurture others. I want to also bring in, sorry, can you hear the rain? Sorry, there is a lot of rain here. I want to bring in the square that is with Saturn, and it is with Jupiter. Now, Saturn is at 13 degrees and your MC is at 12. The MC, where we find it in someone's chart, is what do I need in order to grow, change, evolve for my career, my job, my responsibilities, my legacy. Saturn is in this square between your ninth, it's in your ninth house of these cross-cultural experiences with foreign people, places, and things, diving into classes and workshops or teaching them. It's the house of higher learning. It's the house of publishing and legal matters. The ninth house it's foreign. It's about the search for the meaning or ideals or beliefs. And so there's this square between what you want to do and working through some time that you are needing to take for your health care. The 12th house, so you have Jupiter activating this energy, and it's been here since spring, and it will be here until I believe it's May of next year, but currently it's retrograde. So Jupiter retrograde in our 12th house is literally bringing up through your dreams, and these could be bad dreams. This is about bringing up your past. The 12th house revolves around topics of your personal unconscious. It's about your shadow self. It's about doing the hard work, the behind the scenes work. The 12th house is your connection to the spiritual realm, and it's expanding people, places, and things that you are connected with in order to expand and heal your mind, your body, your spirit. And so having this square here is saying, I need to take some time out for me. I need solitude. I need yoga, meditation, journaling. I know that you work with plants and people, and so this is an opportunity to say, I'm going to take time out to do things that nurture my heart and my soul, because Mercury here is saying, look, get back to basics. You are burning yourself out, taking care of everybody, and not nurturing yourself. And so this square is going to be becoming more prominent up until December 24th. Like, you're going to feel it of wanting to do things, wanting to be in the holiday spirit, wanting to do like all of these events and activities and connect with these people, and knowing that I have to take time out to take care of me, and being cautious about who you let in your circle. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. I also want to bring in Mars. Mars is retrograde in your second house of your self-worth, your skill set, your cash, your property, your personal resources. It's about movable property. It's your income, your possessions. Mars is going back over this area of your life for a review. It's already gone over it once, and it brought to your attention some major events that happened. Now that it's stationed retrograde, going back over it, it says, let's look at my bills. Let's look at my income. Let's look at what do I own. Let's look at my financial condition. Let's look at my value system. Having Mars stationed retrograde here says, I can cut away this. I can cut away this. What do I want to remove? Remember, it's not just about tangible things. The second house is people, places, and things that you really value, that you want to have or that you want to have. And your south node is here. And so we know that you are bringing in with you things. So Mars, you're having a Mars opposition, and you're going to see this one more time. Mars stationing retrograde in your second house. January 6th, it will dip back into your first house, because everything that you've been going through the last few months, since actually the eclipse, and we had talked about that we had talked about that at an earlier time, that the events that happened there with the trajectory of your career and your job were meant to take you from one position and give you freedom and liberation. And now you have all of these opportunities in front of you. What do you really want? And so you still have time to figure this out. I know that you're laying all your ducks in a row, but with Mars going back into your first house January 6th, this will be a time for you to go back over what brings you happiness, making sure that you're making your health a priority, knowing that if you're overworked, then your health does suffer. I love this, that it's an opportunity to really look at what you started a year ago and say, is this where I want to be? And it's a time to make adjustments. That's what retrogrades are for. They bring your attention to areas of your life that need you to go back and realign, readjust, reconnect. And so all of that is an opportunity to bring to the light the changes that need to changes that need to be made. And so I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. I'm going to look in the comment section. Let's see. Hey, Mary Home, how are you? Let's see. Rich. Sounds right. She must be. Yeah, I am reading for a Cancer rising. She is a Cancer rising. Yeah, she's going through, well, okay, anybody who has Cancer rising was going through big things that had to do with shifts with home and career. And it's almost over. You've got 4 or 5 more months, and then the nodes are going to shift. But the shifting has already started with the last eclipse. This is affecting her greater with the Mercury retrograde because of all of that energy that's in her 12th house. And with Mars, literally, after the job, the career, the everything, Mars going back through your second house is really saying, I need to figure out what do I really value, because I know that you're a workhorse, and like your word is, when you give your word, it's important. And so this is mental, emotional, and spiritual resources, and making sure that you are caring for yourself, mind, body, and spirit. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. I appreciate everybody coming out. It is currently raining cats and dogs here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is loud. All right. All right, Grant, give me a hot second here. All right, thanks for waiting, Grant. I greatly appreciate it. So let's take a look. So Grant, you are a Gemini rising. Mercury is your ruling planet, so it's very, very important for you. Thank goodness we're just out of Mercury retrograde, so I'm sure you're feeling like this sense of relief of now I can finally move forward with my plans. Mercury was retrograde in your 7th house of partnership. The 7th house for you represents you and everybody else. This is your communication with your boss, your partners, your best friends, significant others. It also represents open enemies and exes. The 7th house is where we have these contractual agreements or relationships and legal matters and how we handle conflict. And so when Mercury was retrograde, it's saying things and having them be misinterpreted or misunderstood. And so now with Mercury moving forward, you're going to get an opportunity to redo, to if there were contracts that were signed, this is the time that you're going to go through them and finalize them. This Mercury also rules not just your first house of self, but it also rules your home. So I'm sure that this was an uncomfortable past couple of weeks, but now things can now be cleared up with say what you mean what you say, but say it clearly and concisely. And if that means that you need a moment to pause, then that means that you need a moment to pause. It could mean sharing the way that you share your thoughts and ideas with other people. It can also represent not just the way that you communicate, but what you hear from others and misunderstanding like what they're saying, what they mean. So moving forward, I love that this is going to be easier for you. I do want to bring up that the Jupiter square to Saturn. This is uncomfortable. It's going to be continuing. Saturn's at 13 degrees. Saturn is this planet that has these rings around it. Saturn is the planet of limitation, boundaries, time, order, and this is in your 10th house of career, your job, your reputation, your legacy, and being on top of your game. And in the sign of Pisces is, it's just watery and intuitive, and Saturn's like this earth sign, and so it's in a square. It's this uncomfortable with Jupiter wanting to expand you. Jupiter is in your first house, activating all of this. This is a beautiful stellium. A stellium is like when you have 3 or more planets in a house that accentuates it. So you have Mars, you have Venus, you have Mercury here. And so your first house of your identity, your appearance, your power, your self-expression, who you are, things that you want to say, things that you want to launch and do. It's all about, what do I want to present to the world? And so Jupiter here is expanding this. It is currently retrograde. Jupiter retrograde is going within. I need to be cautious with what I say, how I expand some things. I need to go within and use my toolbox of what do I know and how do I work with it. And so Jupiter can be a lot. Jupiter can be too much of a good thing. And so Jupiter has you going within and working on what you say, how you say it, who you say it to, and being assertive, because we've got your Mars here, and we've got your Venus, and this is, Venus wants to bring everybody together. And can you hear me? I'm so sorry. There's a storm going on here, so let me know. Can you hear me in the queue? Yeah. Okay, great. So glad that we're back. And I am so sorry. There is a storm going on here. Currently I'm in Florida, and it has been raining for the last 3 days. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a little loud. Okay, so Grant, because Jupiter's expanding Mars, it's saying initiate, go after, say what you mean what you say. And Venus is I'm wanting to people please. I don't want anybody to fight. I don't want to have to do that. But standing up for yourself. The square with Saturn is, not everybody is going to be receptive to the new you, the adult you, the person who needs to speak from a space of authority. This will be every single day, getting closer to December 24th, is a new chance, a new opportunity to grow. And I say that with kindness, because it's also a difficult, it's you finding your voice, and the universe is going to give you lesson after lesson after lesson until you're exhausted with it, and then you've either surrendered or you've stepped up to the plate. So I'm encouraging you to definitely work on the way that you speak, work on your words, work on the way that you communicate with others. All right, so let me see if there's anything else here. Let's see. All right, I think we're good. We talked before about you having a nodal opposition, and you know that would be where, you're learning lessons from your past, but also, like, what am I going to be doing for my future? It's like this opposition of, what do I leave in the past and what do I move forward with? And I know that you and I have talked about it before. So this will be all of these oppositions, and there will be trines also, that they're giving you these chances for you to grow, change, and evolve, to push past your comfort zone, and to stand on your own 2 feet and own who you are, own the growth that you've made. All right, so thank you very much for trusting me. Let me see who else is in the queue. All right, I think I have one more person left in the queue, so if there's anybody else who wants to get in the queue, now would be a really good time. Let's see. Oh, good. All right, I got it. All right, Hannah, thank you very much for showing up tonight, and let's talk about what is going on with you. Oh, you are also a Gemini rising. All right. So I'm sure that you're glad that Mercury is out of retrograde. I know that the email that you sent stated that, okay, you just finished a huge test. I'm so excited for you. I knew that it was going to go well because Mercury retrograde was giving you a chance to go back, review your notes, just like literally review everything that was going on in your life. And it gave you extra study or practice time because Mercury rules over not just who you are, these are your goals and things that you want to do, but it also is your home. So this was an opportunity to say, I need to take this test, and what are the results going to look like. It was right before the full moon. We knew that this was going to be a culmination and ending that was going to offer you really great results. So I'm so excited and happy for you. Something else that I want to bring up. I have been talking about this Saturn square to Jupiter. I want you to notice that transiting Saturn is 13, your Saturn is 12. This is your Saturn return, so this is your first Saturn return. This is really when life kind of just like kicks us in the butt and says, look, get serious, let's move forward, let's have a plan, let's be organized. Saturn says anything that's worth doing is worth doing right. Remember, it's time, it's effort, it's energy, it's how do you get to the toppest of the mountain? It's picking your goals and picking them wisely. And if that's not the goal you want, then get out and choose something else. The square comes with Jupiter that's in your first house of self. I want to do this because it will expand, it will help me grow. Jupiter is knowledge, wisdom, travel, education. It's expanding the way that you communicate, the way that you learn. This square is going to increase every single day, and you're going to feel it like harder because this is your Saturn return. This will be a time that you are seriously looking at, where do I really want to go, and what do I want to do with my job, my career, my reputation. The 10th house revolves around your professional life, your ambitions, your goals and your responsibilities, and your success and your achievement, knowing that whatever you put your heart and soul into, you will complete, you will do well. It's just a matter of making the time to do it, putting forth the effort, and how do you make that happen. And so now with this class done, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to shift your career and change things up? There's that option. Having Saturn here, Saturn's going to be here for a few more months until the middle of summer, and then everything is going to shift for you for 2025. I want to give you a brief overview. You just had Pluto in November move into your 9th house of learning, of publishing, of legal matters, of expanding your mind. Now it's going to be here for the next 20 years. It's like I'm going to be a forever student and I want to expand my mind. What's also going to happen is you're going to have Neptune and Jupiter both move into Aries. It's a fire sign. It's a masculine fire sign. Pluto is in Aquarius, also another masculine sign of ownership, of initiating. Neptune is, these are my dreams, and how do I move forward with these dreams in the sign of Aries? You having to take the initiative. As soon as Saturn follows, like 4 or 5 weeks later, this gives you the plan. Saturn always comes in and says, if you want to do this, you have to have a short, a mid, and a long-term goal in order to reach this. Around the same time, Jupiter will leave your first house of self and move into your second. I love this in that this is you shifting your career, your job, your responsibility into something that will get you more money, more resources, your skill set. Everything that you're doing now is so you can better yourself, better your partnership, better, it's, I need to move into something that's better for me financially and for my goals, like the legacy that you want to leave behind. This is your personal ambition. So you have a lot of great things that are going to be happening for you as you move forward. I mean, this is going to be it's going to be a transitional year, a really transitional year. I think that when, and I think it's already started, like with the last eclipse, but over the next 18 months, having the North Node dip its toes and move into your 10th house, it usually means that there's a move of something going on at home. And it means that there's a search for a different position, an increase, a leaving of one job, and the move into another, like climbing the corporate ladder. So I think that you may be comfortable now, but I really think that you may be looking for something else that may, or climbing the corporate ladder of where you're at. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. All right, and I'm going to look in the queue. Hey, Mary Hone, I'm so glad that you are doing well. Oh, you are a Cancer rising also. Oh, and the Pluto transits are really tough. Hey, higher self. Yay, I'm so glad that you are here and that you have made it. All right, Rich. Yep. I'm so glad that everybody has made it tonight. I know that we have had a rainy evening. Oh, you forgot to add the information, and what is this for? Give me a hot second.
And it must be higher self.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you are next. You wanted to add the information for what is this for? Oh, add it in the chat, and let me pull up your chart. And did she give birth information? Oh, so we forgot to give all that. Are you comfortable with giving your date, time, and location in the chat? Because if you are, do it, and then I will read it from there. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. If not, here we go. My computer's doing all kinds of crazy things, but at least the rain has settled down here. All right, so let me move on from Hannah. So I'm hoping everybody is enjoying this, moving into the holidays and stuff. While I wait for higher self, I want to talk about the next live is going to be in 3 weeks. I will be in a transition between the Christmas and the New Year's, and so it'll be January 7th. We'll have the next live, and it will be, again, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be moving further out west, but it will be 6 o'clock then. So yeah, I look forward to seeing all of you again in 3 weeks. And if you are looking for more, like as in a membership, my Patreon community, we meet once a month, 1 hour that we do. Sometimes I bring in speakers, and sometimes we talk about energy work, tarot, astrology, and then the second hour is astrology, and it's more of a personal, let's bring our charts and let's talk about these transits, and we work through, it's kind of a learning and in a safe environment. All right, higher self, I really do need you to give me the information. Did she email it? Did you look for the email? All right. So, okay, let me talk about a couple other things. The rest of December, I just released the Jupiter-Saturn square that's going to be coming up, and along with that, there's going to be a Venus square Uranus. Now, Venus, goddess of love, beauty, money, resources, square, tense aspect, Uranus, shock, surprise, didn't see it coming, and at least Venus is moving direct. I'm looking for pleasant surprises, or at least to work with the surprises that I've got. Squares are always tense points of where we need to change, to grow, and evolve. And so that will be coming out, I believe, on, it'll either happen on the 28th or, yeah. So that'll be coming out in a few more days. And then we're going to have Mars oppose Pluto again. Remember, this is the transit will happen 3 times. The first time Mars opposed Pluto, Mars was moving direct. This time, Mars will be in retrograde or going back over some of the same topics. So if you go back to the beginning of November, you will have some of the same topics. Give me a second. I'm trying to help him find it. Mars will have you going back over the same topics and having you review, rethink, revise. Mars retrograde, Mars wants to cut and sever everywhere it goes. It wants to initiate, it wants to go first. And so retrograde, think of it as you have to give it something to cut and sever, otherwise it'll make you bleed, and that's not what you want. All right, so let me pull up your chart. Thanks. All righty. Hi, Cassandra. Oh, what a beautiful name. Oh. Give me one. I always have to double check and triple check because I'm ruled by Mercury and hold on. I just want to doesn't look right. All right. Okay, it was right. I just want to make sure. All right. So your question. Oh, okay. Let's go there. Oh, I can. We can talk about it. All right. First, I don't know how much you know about your natal chart. Okay. So I want to just talk about it for a hot second. As a Sagittarius rising, wherever Jupiter is what's important to you, and like that's your chart ruler. You have Saturn there, you've got Uranus there, shock and surprise. I love that for you. All the red represent hard aspects. All the blue represent ease and grace. Having your sun up in your partnership sector of Gemini makes you gives you the opportunity to be very chatty, to be very, like, when you connect with people, it's talking, sharing ideas. I love this for you. Let me look around here. Okay. Oh, you've got your north node, south node. All right. I'm not going to mention your question. Hold on. Let me pull up a bi-wheel, and then I'm going to share what I know. I'm going to focus this on coming from your perspective, because we can look at somebody's chart and dive into what's going on. Remember that I said that you are ruled by the planet of Jupiter. Jupiter is currently in your partnership sector, +1. So we look at it as, what is your partner doing? What's going on with your partner? This has to do with retrograde, redoing, rethinking, revising. Those are topics of things that are going on. It's literally sitting on top of you, on top of your sun, your identity. This could be, I'm going to go general here, and I know that you'll be able to decipher it. The 7th house represents all types of partnership, clients, best friends, significant others. The 7th house represents where we have contracts and where we have negotiations. It represents legal matters. It represents public enemies. And so when Jupiter is retrograde, that's a partner going back and doing rethinking, reviewing, revising. there's something with them that's literally affecting you on like it's on top of your sun. I would answer your question and say that there is definitely some type of miscommunication going on between you and some of the people that are in your life. These can be clients, and these can be a business partner or significant other. It's tough and rough, and I'm going through it too. Yeah, bright light, Beckaboo. It is. My husband's a Sagittarius rising, so having Jupiter in the 7th house represents everything that I'm doing. And so it's whatever your partner is doing is a direct reflection, and you are going through it also. And this can be with clients and things like that. I do want to bring up the square, because the square is not over and you're going to feel it. I want you to notice that Jupiter's at 14 degrees, your sun is at 15 degrees. It's literally 1 degree off. Like, you've been feeling it now for a few, I would say a good couple weeks. It's squaring. A square is a 90-degree angle. It is a hard aspect that is a tense point that says something has to give. Pay attention here. There has to be change. Saturn is in your 4th house. The 4th house represents your home, your family, your personal life. It represents your foundation. It represents your real estate, your property, your traditions. It represents your family, your upbringing, your living situation. It is your home. Having this square with partnership and home creates conflict, and it's on top of your sun. You identifying, feeling it, knowing it. Like, you should know exactly who I'm talking about, and it's not going to be just one person. It's usually going to be, this could be with clients and other things. It kind of will feel like the world is kind of closing in, and the square will continue until December 24th, like literally right the day before Christmas. And so that's when it will become exact. Like, Jupiter's going backwards, it's at 14 degrees, and it will be at 13 degrees. So it's there. This is not going to end. It will just continue to manifest. Let's talk about changes that can come, or other things that are going on as a result. Yeah, I know you're very intuitive. I want to talk about this. You are having a nodal return. A nodal return, so the planets rotate one way and the nodes rotate the other way. And the nodes shift signs every 18 months. And the planets, they're each on their own trajectory. But the nodes go in different directions in order to activate different parts of your life. And they literally sit in an area opposite of one another for 18 months in order to ensure change, ensure growth. And a nodal return is when the north node meets up with the north node, the south node meets up with the south node. It happens every 18 years. So if you go back 18 years ago, you would have seen the same themes. And so now that you are having this nodal return, it's literally like the universe is picking you up and putting you on a different path. It says, this is no longer working. You cannot do this anymore, and you need to move forward. The 5th house for you, okay, so this is the north node, the direction in which you're supposed to be going, and the south node is, what do I leave behind and where have I come from? So having a south node in Libra, conjunct the moon. Okay, moon represents women, problems with women. South node, leave it in the past, usually difficulties with feminine energy, and it will come again in this lifetime for a second go round. That could be part of the this aspect, because it is in a trine. The north node in Aries in your 5th house is I have to make my direction. I have to move forward. The 5th house is the house of affairs. It's children, it's creativity, it's where we take a risk. And the north node is, I need to be moving forward in a direction where I'm willing to take a risk, and the risk needs to be on me. Aries is the I, Libra is the we. And where have you made concessions for other people in your life and not taking your own, you need to be focused on what you want, you need, you desire, what you want to give birth to, the creative projects. I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. Yeah, that feeling, it will, and it'll help you to release it and grow. Yeah, this is this nodal return. It started it started what, 12, 13 months ago, and so you've got until the next eclipse series that you will be ending this cycle. So if you think back to the last year, you've noticed these changes. These things have been coming on a direction of, this is where I'm supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be launching projects and doing things for me. The fifth house being the house of love affairs and children's and investments. It's, where am I willing to take a leap of faith? Where am I willing to tap into my own inner child? And so Aries is you initiating some things and like getting to the bottom of some things. I'm hoping all of this makes sense. I do want to give like a bright light or a highlight that can come from things. Knowing that 2025 is just going to be big. You've just had Pluto dip into your third house of communication. Yeah, definitely self-love. Pluto is going to transform the way that you communicate in all walks of life. This is finding out or understanding or diving into things that have to do with AI, science, technology, video cameras, communication, finding out how do I, Cassandra, bring in information? Where am I getting my facts and my details from? And it will be unique and different, like you didn't think you had to do this before, and it will change the way that you communicate with others. Oh, I see. Okay. I want to talk about, I'm not going to use your name. I know I did, I'm sorry. I do want to talk about a couple other planets that are going to be shifting in order to like look forward. Right now you are having a personal, okay, so remember that Jupiter is squaring Saturn. You're also having a Saturn square Saturn. It's been a rough 2.5 years for you on the home front. It's going to get easier. You're going to first have Neptune move into your fifth house. That'll be in the spring of next year. Right behind it, Saturn will move in. And so Saturn and Neptune bringing not just boundaries, but goals of things that you want to launch and do and start and begin. And Saturn will give you the plan in order to make that happen. Uranus, hoping this makes sense. All right, so all right, so hopefully this is all making sense to you. If you're going to be making any changes or moves, remember that to know ahead is to plan ahead. Jupiter is going to be moving next. It's going to be moving into the spring, into your 8th house. Jupiter will expand your resources that you have invested with other people. And which is when the next eclipse, yeah, okay, so the next eclipse cycle, hold on, yeah, I color code everything, I'm that gal. The next eclipse cycle is going to be March 14th, and it's going to be a total lunar eclipse, full moon in the sign of Virgo. Where is that in your chart? Oh, that's your career sector. So full moons, just if we were going to talk ahead, when you have a full moon eclipse, eclipse is eclipse, people, places, and things in and out of our life, for better or worse. You can't go back. I always say it's like I was camping, we were hiking, and the bridge is gone. We can't take that path back, and we now have to move forward. I am not a fan of change, but I have to learn to embrace the change that comes. And so having a lunar eclipse, lunar is this full moon, meaning people will be able to see it. Things will come to light. And so, yeah, that's what's going to be going on with you, girlfriend. So, oh, you don't know how to prove things. You have Pluto in your third house. Pluto in your third house means use science, technology. Yeah, it means use AI. It means use other means of communication or connections to others. Yeah. Pluto is transform the way that you gather information and you disseminate information. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. Sending you a big air hug as you navigate this journey. All right, and it is 2025 is going to be this a game-changing of a year for all of us, because all of the planets are going to be shifting. Oh, I just noticed one more thing. Can you just hold on and stay here for one more hot second? Sorry. You had a Mars return. You had a Mars return, so I want you to think back, what is it, 6 weeks ago. Something that was started, something that you initiated, a goal of yours in the 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, secrets, taboo topics, alimony, child support, debt, all of these topics. You started a 2-year cycle, and then Mars moved on. As Mars moved on, it moved into your 9th house, and that brought you into contact with other people, places, and things, classes, workshops, expanding your mind, and then it said stop. That goal is not, we can't go on with that. We have to go back and revise that. Whether it's a contract or a negotiation, it has something to do with your money, your investments tied up with other people. The 8th house brings up shared resources, debts, obligations, taxes, inheritances, wills, insurance, private affairs, deep bonding. It brings up it's losses and personal sacrifice. On January 6th, Mars is going to be dipping back into this house again and saying, I need you to take a second look at that. What did you sign? What do you need to go back and renegotiate? And then, hold on, I'll give you the date. On March 1st, good Lord, on March 1st, Mars is going to go direct at 10 degrees of Aries. And so you will then have a new Mars return, which will be a 2-year cycle of identifying what is yours. So I see this as a division of assets and having from now until then to get your ducks in a row. And then you'll be starting a new 2-year cycle of this is mine and I'm going to go after what is mine. So I'm hoping that makes sense, because that's pretty pivotal. And Mercury here in the sign of Cancer is thoughts, ideas, communication, contracts, negotiations. Mercury rules everything that we say and that we write, and like short distance travel, and it rules partnerships in your life, and it rules your career. So whatever is going on now is going to affect both of those areas of your life. You got a lot going on, and I know that you can use this time to get everything in order, to be aligned with the new direction of where 2025 should send you. So hoping this makes sense to you. All right, I'm going to check the queue, make sure everything is good. All right. Okay, good. You are very, very welcome. And if you would like a one-on-one, you can sign up for, I would sign up for like the year ahead, and then I give you the exact dates of when the planets are going to be shifting. It would probably be better when you have a better idea of some things that are going on, and then we can work out a plan in order to work some things out. All right, so I want to say thank you for everybody who showed up this evening. Thank you for trusting me with your consultations. If you are looking for a gift, please check out the link below for there is a tarot reading, astrology reading, there's join the Patreon, there's the Elemental Wisdom Oracle deck, there's many opportunities for those things to be sent to you or to someone that you love. And yeah, all right, I'll see you guys in 3 weeks. Have a really great holiday. Bye.